And we are live. Hello, hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Dela's Voice. I'm super excited for tonight's show because I have literally been waiting for this for a very long time. James MacNeil is a best-selling author and the founder of Verbal Aikido, Guru Builder, and Dream Life GPS. He is one of the world's most accomplished speakers, having addressed more than 2,000 live audiences around the globe. And he's shared the stage with mega brands, including Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, Steve Forbes, Rudy Giuliani, Robert Allen, T. Harv Eker, and Sir Richard Branson. So you could say he is crème de la crème. Ooh. And guess what? He is my teacher too. So thank you so much, James, for being here tonight. I'm super excited. But let me tell you why. When I started Dela's Voice, I think on the second show, you agreed to be my guest on Dela's Voice. And you had so much confidence in me that I didn't have that in myself. You believed in me and you said yes to me, regardless of whether it happened or not, because it didn't. Facebook didn't allow us to do the live interview because it was all messed up. I had to go on for the next half an hour talking by myself.
I remember.
So I'm so happy that this is finally happening. And I thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And so welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dela. I love your vibe. I love the fact that you really, really care. You've got a great soul. You're obviously a captivating personhood. You know what I mean? You've got a genuineness that attracts people, helps people feel safe. And I believe through your work and through Dela's Voice, people are hearing messages of encouragement, of reconciliation, messages of love, messages of hope that otherwise they wouldn't hear. There's something about how you are that helps people listen. And so I'm honored to be a part of Dela's Voice, and I'm grateful for another shot.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just want us to make sure that we are streaming live on Facebook. I tagged you, so if you don't mind to please go ahead and share that on your timeline so that all your fans can be watching too. Perfect. So I hope that this is everything that you had expected, because I want to do right by you, James.
No doubt in my mind.
Okay, so let's start. I want to ask you, if you don't mind, sharing the story of your life in a nutshell, because you started out really rough, and yes, your story is such an inspiring story, and it brings me so much joy every time I hear you talk about where you started and how you got here. So if you don't mind, please.
Thank you. I'm honored. So I'm born and raised in Southern Ontario. We moved around a ton, so I probably lived in 30 places, I don't know, but moved around a lot. And challenging situation at home, and not going to get into that. That's somebody else's story, I suppose, but it was part of mine. And I have ADHD. I have other letters after my name and other labels, but the one that I'll speak of is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And as a result, I had trouble concentrating, focusing. And one of the ways that showed up is I was unable to speak in sentences until I was 9 years old. That means grade 4. You could imagine how that would make me a unique person, that I wasn't like the other kids. And so I didn't do well socially. I didn't do well in school. I remember in grade 4, they would come in, the special ed teacher would come in and say, "It's time for Jimmy MacNeil's speech therapy." And everyone would mock me and laugh at me. And I remember being so humiliated, and I frankly didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on in the world around me, why I couldn't connect. Everyone else seemed to be happy and make friends, and everything seemed easier for everybody else. And I couldn't understand what was wrong with me. And they had me speak nursery rhymes and so on to begin to create neural pathways between my conscious mind and my mouth and the sounds that I would make. And finally, I learned to speak in sentences. But these challenges continued, and to some degree continued now. I learned to read when I was 21. I was functionally illiterate until I was 21. I have no college, no university. And I was a laborer, just an entry-level laborer, janitor, security guard, just, any job I could get. But what I couldn't do is just read and write, and that caused me some real challenges. I moved into depression. I was virtually homeless, but only spent a night or two under the stars. I had 30 residences and 24 residences in 22 months or something like that. I went to Florida at one point just to survive the winter. Long story short, I ended up in a suicidal depression and on substances and violence and so on. And so, long story short, I suppose I was going to be dead or in prison within 6 months before a spiritual turnaround happened. And so, yeah, I had a rough beginning, but I'm grateful for every bit of it, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. I'm grateful for every second. I believe everything is perfect and everything is improving, and everything leading us up to this moment is intended to make us a unique person to be able to touch the world in a unique way. So I'm grateful for it all, but yeah, it looked pretty ugly.
Thank you, James. Well, it's pretty amazing where you are now and how many lives you're touching with your work, mine included. So thank you so much for that. So today I have a question, actually,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't mind answering that question for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it stems from where I come from, and for me, for a long time, being spiritual tied into having a religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was tough because of my background and my upbringing. Religion was not something that I really wanted to hang on to.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know the difference between spirituality and having a religion.
Right.
So could you explain that? Because I know there's a lot of people who are going to be resonating with this question.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for those of you who are watching, I want you to know that no matter what part of the spiritual religious landscape you're coming from, it's all cool. I believe that we can begin with a basic idea of this, and that is, do we live in a benevolent universe or a malevolent universe? It's a pretty fundamental question that can start the whole ball. If you believe it's a benevolent real universe, then you believe that the universe is on your side and my side, and that the cards are stacked for us, not against us. And the universe wants what's best. Now, this universe could be energy. We could think of it as the energy that makes up the universe. We could think of the spirit world, which transcends the physical universe, time, space, and matter. And we could talk about the spirit world and how, well, even in the Bible, it says that God is love. And so if we can just think of it as love energy being supreme, then I think we can all probably feel somewhat peaceful about the conversation, about the journey. Now, if you believe the universe is a malevolent, which means instead of life and love giving, it's death and destruction, then that would be a problem. But as long as we're on the same page with a benevolent universe model or a benevolent spirit force model, then we can all probably get along. Then the question is, how do we begin to package that spirituality? Even within the world of spirituality, you have some people believe in the multiplicity of universes, some people don't. Some people believe in a spirit world outside of the time-space continuum, others don't, all within spiritual, non-religious. Some within the religious or the spirituality group believe in reincarnation, some people don't. Some people believe there are spirits, helpful guides in the spirit world. While we're here, there are invisible forces around us. Other people don't. So the fact is, whether you're part of a religion or a non-religious spiritual journey, you're going to have agreement and disagreement on how you see things. And I personally believe that's all healthy. I don't see a problem with that. I think as long as we're coming from and moving through with the energy of love, it's all good. And so I personally, in my work with Pure Spiritual Intelligence, I have people coming to my events who are Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Christian, the Catholic version of Christian and the non-Catholic version of Christian. I've got atheists, agnostics, witches. I've got, you name it, coming out, and we all seem to get along, and we can all talk about spirituality. So to be spiritual does not mean you cannot be religious, and to be religious does not mean you cannot be spiritual, and one need not conflict with the other. What I do believe, however, is know what you believe what you believe, and live what you believe, and you'll be far more at peace.
Thank you for that explanation. So why is that so important to talk about spirituality?
The question is, at the point, is spirituality part of the experience here? Is our spirituality affecting us? Is it not affecting us? Is it in fact the real thing in this time-space continuum as a temporary visit? Do you pre-exist this body you're in? Do you expect to post-exist, right? Do you expect to have an experience outside of this body? And if so, then the spirit world matters, right? You've got some religions that talk about heaven and hell. You know, after this, it's going to go this way or that way, depending on this or that. Other people believe you're just going to keep on cycling until you get it right. And so if we believe that we're spiritual, and most people believe that there's a spiritual entity, a metaphysical, meta means beyond, so beyond the physical. If there's a beyond the physical reality, for us not to pay attention to that seems rather unwise. And so it's like, I can't see the air. Does it matter what I'm inhaling? Yes, it matters what you're inhaling. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not central. And my job, my business, my career has been the science of success. So teaching people how to get rich. I've helped individuals and organizations generate millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, and even billions of dollars. I've helped millions of people around the world. I've been on radio shows. I've had a co-hosted radio show for a year. You name it. I've done all kinds of cool things with books and so on. And I've helped people with real estate investments. I've helped people with business. I've helped banks. I've helped law enforcement agencies. So I've studied success, and that's been my life. And what I kept doing is peeling the onion back farther and farther and farther to see what are the secrets of success. And virtually everything we learn about success comes from the outside in, which means measuring the observable. So we measure the observable. Did a person dial the phone? Did they wake up at 5 a.m.? Did they eat their broccoli? And so we can study their behaviors on the outside, but what we haven't done as a general rule within the science of success philosophies in the self-help industry is climb inside to the core, the source, the beginning of it all. And I moved into emotional intelligence work. And then finally, I'm revealing pure spiritual intelligence. And that's been a 30-year project, because behind all of it, there's inspiration that people cannot explain. And when I'm in the green rooms, you know, all over the world, that means backstage.
Yes.
I figured you knew it, but just in case someone doesn't know. But being backstage with people like Sir Richard Branson, you know, backstage with the Bob Proctors and Tony Robbins and Les Browns, with the Steve Forbes and Warren Buffett's daughter-in-law, you know, just hanging out with these super incredibly interesting people. I begin to try and ascertain what is consistent amongst them. And what they can't agree on is stuff like what industry. They can't agree sometimes on religion. But what they can agree on are these spiritual things that's hard to explain. And so I decided to make it my life's work to uncover the secrets of the metaphysical world and package them in a way that doesn't offend. And so that's why I think it's the most important conversation. I know that was a long answer, but you hit my button there.
You know what? I think it's so important. I think it's so important. For me, the moment I turned my life around was the moment I decided that I'm not in control anymore. I admitted that I wasn't in control, and I decided to surrender to a higher power. And I'm not afraid to say that. Because that's totally what I believe, and it has worked for me. So I think it's an individual decision. But if you're talking about the most successful people in the world, spirituality plays a big part in their life. I think if it works for them, then it's worth looking at. So and you worked really hard to come up with this program that you are actually ready to present to the
Mhm.
world.
Yeah.
And so I would love for you to talk about that, because I'm jumping on that bandwagon and I'm going to be a part of it. And I'm so looking forward to the effects that I'm going to see a 30-day
Yes.
right,
Miracle challenge.
miracle challenge. So can you talk about that?
Sure. So I have, first, for those who are watching, I have a book called Pure Spiritual Intelligence that I pre-published the first 5 chapters just to give people a teaser, and the rest will be coming out as soon as I can concentrate. So it's a full book explaining the entire metaphysical success philosophy, and it's called Pure Spiritual Intelligence, and that will be coming out. I've already completed the online course, filmed in a studio in Hollywood, in Miami with a Hollywood producer, filmed the entire online course called Pure Spiritual Intelligence. I put on weekends. There's weekend events called the Dream Life Experience. I have retreats where people go to exotic locations with me. We often, mostly right now, going to Mexico to a beautiful 5-star ultra VIP experience where we spend a full spiritual retreat. And I have other programs as well. So it's rolled out in many different ways. What I found, however, is people want the magic pill. To just tell me what to do. Just, do I wink my eye? Do I turn to the left? Do I twitch my shoulders? Do I do a bewitched and just, play with my nose, and then all of a sudden magic and miracles? And so people want the simple and the quick fix. Now, I'm not against that, just so you know, I'm not against that. It's just that it's just not the way I think. The way I learn is I have maybe authority issues, but I don't like people telling me what to do. I want them to teach me the science. I want them to teach me the philosophy. I want to know everything, and I'll make up my own mind. You don't tell me to wake up at 5 a.m. Just tell me why you think that would be a good idea, and I'll make up my own mind. So I teach the way I like to learn. But I finally gave in to the voices. People say, just make it as simple as possible. Could you just create some like super powerful, just do this and your miraculous life starts? I'm like, oh my gosh, doesn't anyone want to know all the secrets? But of course, I have a long lineup of people who want to know the secrets, but some people want the simple. So I did it. I put 19 of the most shocking, pure spiritual intelligent rituals, routines, modalities, mechanisms, processes into a 30-day miracle challenge, where it's not about the teaching, it's about the doing. So you write out your dream life manifesto, and I give you all the pieces, and we build it. We do a desire decoding process. It's a 7-step process to distinguish the difference between your natural desires, your unnatural desires, and your supernatural desires, to be able to figure out what you really, really want, create a game plan for it, and then reconnect the source so that the miracle flow is beginning. And more and more and more. So it's a 30-day. It takes about an hour a day, and it'll be challenging. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be challenging. My lessons are less than 15 minutes long, but your work is totals about an hour. But for 30 days, and it's starting June 1st. So anyone interested, you got to pounce on this. And it's it's a 30-day, and we expect miracles. People who do my work experience monetary miracles, like millions of dollars, literally. It's not uncommon for people to get hundreds of thousands of dollars transformations within a month. People have had like healing, miraculous physical healing. Now, I don't do miraculous healing, and that's between you and God, or
Your God.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I make the introduction. How's that? So I help people connect and watch their lives transform, relationship transformation, and on and on. And so we expect that and more in 30 days, because I don't have a single student in my work in the last few years who's done everything that we're going to do in 30 days. Not one student has been this compliant with this philosophy. And in this 30 days, all of us will be, and we're expecting miracles. So I'm very excited. Thank you for letting me talk about it.
I'm very excited too, but why 30 days, James? Why not 21 days?
Yeah.
Why 30 days? Because it seems like everybody says 21 days it takes to make a habit, but
Yes.
then they're saying that's not true. So now, why 30 days?
Well, 21 days is not a bad rule to go by. There's a deeper explanation as to why we go with 21, but we don't have to worry about that at this moment as much as what I want you to know is it does take some time. Please understand this. When you're not thinking about your thinking, you're thinking in ways you wish you didn't. Okay? When you're not thinking,
explain that, please.
Over 90% of self-talk has been concluded to be negative. So I want you to imagine an insult, something bad, something someone said to you long ago. maybe a school teacher, who knows what, a friend. And let's say you were 5 years old and someone said you're not very bright or whatever, you're too tall. It doesn't matter what they said. But what matters is you've been repeating that to yourself ever since. They are guilty of saying it once. You're guilty of the 10,000 repetitions. You're guilty of replaying this, replaying the self-accusations, replaying the self-demeaning conversations. We are not kind to ourselves. If you talk to anyone the way you talk to yourself, no one would talk to you.
You'd have no friends left.
Exactly. So how about getting on your own team? So self-talk is huge, huge for this. And you have habits, ingrained habits. So it's not just about doing one thing 21 days or 30 days. It's about beginning to rewrite your unconscious thought patterns. When you're not thinking about what you're thinking, what will you be thinking is a question. And so if we just build in new habits of saying very positive, appropriate, healthy things, all of a sudden your life is going to transform and you're going to feel like, wait, I didn't do anything. Yeah, you stopped stopping yourself is what you did. The miracles are already approved. Your dream life is approved. It's perfect. It's prepared. It's present. The universe hasn't failed you. God, if you will, source, love, whatever, hasn't failed you. You and you alone have kept the perfect dream life from appearing. You and you alone have that power. And it's going to take some time to stop stopping yourself and to just release the miracles. And I'm not saying you're necessarily the source of miracles. Some people would theologically debate that. And so that's not my point. My point is the miracles are waiting for your permission. And so to get out of your own way means we have to unravel cobwebs of confusion and bad thought patterns. And then some of the things, Dela, will take me the first 9 days to build in the routine and then 21 days of doing it. So we have to build towards a 21-day sprint. And so it takes a total of 30 days to build the machine and then 21 days of repetition, if that answers the question.
I'm very excited because it's the whole month of June, right? We're going to do it the whole month of June.
Yep.
You said you have, so that the program has 19 elements, 19 different elements.
Well, more than that, those are just the trademark processes. So I've trademarked 19 different spiritual disciplines, different processes, like the healing process, the quantum healing, the quantum breath is a micro meditation. There's a series of different disciplines that once you've learned them, they're now yours, right? You can do them forever. So there's a minimum of 19 trademarks, spiritual practices or modalities embedded in the 30-day challenge. There's much more than the 30 or more than the 19 trademark ones. It's a matter of 19 have been trademarked. That's how powerful they are. And you're getting all of them. One of them would be worth the cost of admission. I'll go ahead and tell people. Is that okay?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
I'm very excited about your offer.
I just want you to know that I'm looking at one of the Facebook feeds here. And I want you to know you've got people here from all over the world watching us right now.
Oh, do tell.
There's a super successful gentleman. His name comes up, Tan CK. He's a guru over in Singapore and a dear, dear soul. He is very close to Richard Tan, who is the billionaire who runs Success Resources, who owns the event industry. And so everywhere Tony Robbins is in the world, it's a Success Resources event. And his very dear friend and brother, compadre, business associate, is watching this. So you're a big star, Dela. You're getting views from all over the world.
Thanks, James.
I can see Australia's in the house.
Ooh, that's very nice. Yeah, I see a lot of people watching on this end too. We've got Robert J. Moore is watching.
Wow.
Yes.
Mr. Guinness Book of World Records himself.
I see Farida Farr is watching. I think she lives in Australia.
Yep.
And Medea is a good friend, James. I see that she's interested in the challenge as well. And
Medea, my answer is yes. Join
yes.
us.
Oh my gosh, yes. And Rodrigo just posted the link. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. You're awesome. James, and also Grace Sharon is watching.
Yes.
And Rosemary is watching as well.
Grace is our latest addition. So congratulations, Grace. We were just speaking earlier within the past hour or so. And Grace has joined the 30-day Miracle Challenge. So she's one of, it looks like we're close to 100 people now who are going to be
Oh,
participating. And get this, every single day we're going to be doing like a prayer. And don't be afraid if you don't know what praying is. We're going to be doing a very simple, non-theologically threatening prayer for each other, for our miracles, and for the planet. And the planet could really use that right now. So we are pounding out love energy to the planet, as well as watching our own miracles take place. And so she's joining us on the, Grace is joining us.
yes. You know, to do this together, so powerful, James.
Yes.
Right? I mean, to have a collective of people doing the same thing, I feel like that is going to be so strong, so
Yeah.
powerful.
Well, if you look at some of the origins of religion, like the church, well, the word for church in the original is ecclesia. It just means the gathering. It's where two and more are gathered with a common theme, a common purpose. So in a sense, we're going to be doing church, our own style, our
Yeah.
own 100% all in love energy church. And so, yeah, I think I was supposed to answer another question. I lost track. I got
So
so
yeah,
excited
we
about
need
all the
to
people.
know. We need
So
to
what are
know
the
if you have
details?
an offer
Yeah.
for everybody who's watching, please.
So I won't go into like the pitch, but I'm gonna give the, I didn't plan on doing this, Dell. If it's okay, I'm gonna tell people what the deal is, and they can go right there and register. The link that we gave you in advance was so that people can come to a webinar that's happening on Tuesday. The thing though is the 30-day challenge is starting live on Monday. And so if people want to join, they can jump right in. So I'm going to give you the details now.
So,
So
sorry,
go ahead.
sorry, James. I think Rodrigo put the link to the challenge.
That is the how to register for
activate.
the webinar.
I see. Okay. It says activateyourdreamlife.com.
That's a
Join
free
the
webinar on
challenge
Tuesday.
order. Okay. All right.
So I will ask whomever is watching to please type this in for me. 30 days begins now.com. So that's the registration page. That's to say yes. The Activate Your Dream Life page goes to register for a webinar I'm doing on Tuesday, which is a free webinar, which of course you're welcome to do as well. But the 30 days begins now.com is where a person can register right away. And you can get some of the details there. So I'll explain what it is. So this is a big deal in a number of ways. The value is over $1,000. The price, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I've dropped it for people who are joining before June 1st. And that is $97 US, tax included. So no matter where you are in the world, the price is $97 US dollars, and there's no tax. Well, I'm paying tax, but it's taxes included in that price. So here's the deal. It's a 30-day challenge. So for 30 days, you're going to be doing daily disciplines. You're also going to get on a daily basis a spiritual revelation. You're going to be taught something, not much, but something. And then every single day you're getting a challenge to do this, to write out your dreams, or to write out your dream life, or to write out something, or to do forgiveness letters, for an example. Do something that allows your spiritual freedom and miracles to flow. So every single day you're doing these things. The total amount of time is about 1 hour total with my lesson and the rest. You're going to do these every single day. What was I going to say? Oh, the 19 trademark modalities. On top of that, the Facebook, we have a private Facebook community, which is an extra for people to join if they want to, for $97 on top of it. But I'm giving that to you, not only for the first 30 days, but I'm giving you access to this group for an entire year. So you can do a 30-day miracle challenge every single month, and you can just keep on doing it. And I've got $10,000 in prizes I'm giving out for those who succeed with draws. And so it's a big challenge. And you get everything, and the total price is $97 US dollars. And if all it did was help you clean slate, right? If all it did was to help you feel forgiveness, both for yourself and for others, to feel clean slate, to feel, to get clarity on what you want. I mean, how old are you now and you don't know what you want? You don't have a clear vision of what your perfect dream life would look like. If I ask people all the time, Dela, I say, what if everything became perfect? What would it look like? People are like, more stuff. Like, wow, you really thought this through. So what would make you happy? Do you know? And so by the time we're done in 30 days, you will know with crystalline clarity your perfect dream life vision. And you will write a dream life manifesto, and you'll be pulsating out to this universe, to God, if you will, what you believe to be your perfect dream life. And the good news is, no matter how perfect you write it, it's going to show up better. And the reason why we know that is you're connecting to your purpose, you're connecting to your source, you're connecting to your higher self, you're getting rid of all the stuff that's getting in the way. And for 30 days, you'll be on track building disciplines that'll serve you for the rest of life. And the total cost to be a part of the gang that's going through this is $97 US, tax included. So it's the biggest thing I've done at the smallest price I've ever done it. It's a big deal.
I can't. Okay, so I can't wait. Okay, I can't wait to start it because I know I'm going to get so much out of this 30 days. But then I can't wait for the 30 days to be over so that I completely have different views
Yes.
on life, on how I approach things, on how clear I am about what I want. Wow, what a gift.
Well, one of the things, thanks, Dela. I think one of the things that's most exciting about this is it's the beginning. I was working with Bob Proctor. I've worked with Bob Proctor, one of the primary star of The Secret. I've worked with him a number of times. And I remember it was like 30 years ago. I know I look like I'm 30, right? So
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
very young.
Yeah. No worries. You got
So
it.
when hey, listen, the older I get, the sexier I get. I got no problem with myself aging. I used to have an
It's
afro.
true.
Going bald is the best thing that could have happened. So I was with Bob, and one of his students, he gave them some spiritual disciplines back then, some disciplines of goal setting, whatever. And they say, how long do I have to do it? He said, you only have to do it until you want to do it. So you only have to do a discipline until it's just how you are. Like there was a time that mommy and daddy said you have to brush your teeth. But now mommy and daddy don't have to tell you, you brush your teeth because you don't like the consequences of not brushing your teeth. You do what you're supposed to do now because you're a grown up and you know what's best for you and for the world around you. And so it's only uncomfortable until it's comfortable. And so spiritual disciplines are just like anything else. The first time I tried to do a push-up didn't work out so well. And then I get the hang of it. First time I did this. Oh, by the way, I love your picture of you kickboxing. You beautiful, scary soul. I loved it. So it's only discipline until you've embraced it of this is how you are. This is what you do. And so these disciplines, it's just getting started, having a group around you that hold you in step until boom, it's just, this is the way you are now. And we're going to snap out of some habit patterns that frankly have been the problem. Some of you watching this, you know you're your worst enemy. You know the problem is staring back at you in the mirror. You know nothing in this universe can stop you but you. And you've succeeded at stopping you. And you just needed that kick. You just needed that community. You just needed that path. You just needed that system. Well, here it is, $97 US. It's way cheaper than therapy. It's way cheaper than whatever else.
No
and
kidding.
It's 1 month, get her done. 1 month, stand up and prioritize yourself, your life, you. And yeah, it's a big deal. A lot of lives are going to be changed here, Dela. I'm very excited.
Can I read some of the comments here? Okay. So I love reading comments. Please don't stop leaving us comments. So so what do we got here so far? Okay, so Medea says, once you surrender to the higher power, you have freedom.
Amen.
Right? Which is exactly true. Let's see. So Medea's signed up.
Yay,
already.
Medea.
Good for you. So it looks like you have another interview with, is it Rosemary?
Yep. When is that, Rosemary? Is she telling us?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
is
good.
James MacNeil interview with my show, Quebrando Barreras.
Breakthrough time.
Thank you for that. So you rock, James, Grace says, and power of prayer, Grace shouted. Awesome. What do we got here? Let's see. Okay, so just a lot of hellos, a lot of shout. Just James, you're awesome. That's what they say. I know you love to hear that.
You know, I heard a great line. It was probably from a 70s or 80s TV show, but a character said, you know, it's enough about me talking about me. How about you talk about me for a while?
I like that. Okay. So I just want to I want to say this because a lot of times, so we're in a program for, let's say, 30 days, and then the program is over. We've done really well all through the 30 days, and then the 30 days is over. Maybe we'll continue for another 30 days, and then we're left on our own, and slowly things get blurry. You forget why you started in the first place. But this Facebook group keeps us going. So there's constant support. So it's there for us.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So there's, just so you know, I mean, this is an easy way to jump in the water, right? Stick your toe in the water, see if you like the feel of the water. This is a very low cost. Now, for some of you, 97 is a serious amount, and I mean no disrespect. But I mean, if 97 is a challenge at this point of your life, you've got to change something. I don't want to be rude, but it's just $97. Some of you spend more than that at Starbucks every month. So, so this is an easy way for you to tip your toe in the water, called pure spiritual intelligence, and into my world, and say, hey, maybe this guy is someone I want to work with, I want to learn from. We've got lots more to play with. You know, this 30-day challenge is in the 30-day Facebook group is the 30-day challenge repeated itself. It's 30-day challenge. And if you want to know more, if you want to go deeper, we've got an ocean of opportunity to learn more. Dela's a part of other communities that I'm honored to host. And we have some group that have become gurus. They've taken their game all the way up to becoming $1 million a year author, speaker, coach, consultant, and trainer. We meet with people who are one of our current active members is making $1 million a year, working 4 hours a month, and so they're getting the hang of this. We've got gurus who are making $10 million a year, and we've got gurus from around the world who I've had the honor of working with. So this is a great way to start at the lowest cost possible and the greatest breakthrough success. You know, you should just have quick success with this, and then we'll see where the relationship goes. But you definitely have a community here in this 30-day miracle challenge for a whole year, just to continue to refine your disciplines. And if you want to know, is that normal or not in the spiritual realm? Go to Tibet. There's people who have spent 30 years and more praying all day, every day, getting the hang of this thing called prayer. And so developing disciplines around spirituality is a time-honored tradition to develop the disciplines. And of course, some people spend no time at all at it and don't have a very magical life. This is a way to jump into the miracle flow and to do so quickly with a structure, a system, a process, and a community. So yeah, it's 30 days. Change your life.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait. Can we start now? I know Colleen said the other day, can we start now?
I know. Everyone in the community is like, start today, start today.
Yeah, let's start today. Let's start today and change. Yeah, and it's Monday. It's not that far away, right?
What's
oh
that,
my gosh.
4 sleeps?
Woo! June 1st already. Wow. So you, James, I want to ask you this. What is the biggest change for you that has happened as a result of I want to say strengthening your spiritual toolbox?
Sure. Thank you. Well, one of the things that I find about myself and my unique journey is there's 2 realities of James MacNeil. There's my public reality where I look like I've got my stuff together. My public reality looks like, man, this guy, everything comes easy for him. He's confident. He can think on his feet. He knows his stuff and all of those external things. And I don't know if this is anything like you, but then when the audience isn't around and I'm left in my thoughts and I'm left in my fears and I'm left in my frustrations, and the world hasn't seen the battle that I've had on a daily basis, the battle back depression, the battle back temptations of all sorts to just not be the best version of myself, whether it's anger, you know, or alcohol or whatever. And fortunately for me, I don't have any tragic stories in these respects, but I do not underestimate the power and the pull of lesser energies. And so for me, what I found in developing my spiritual disciplines is wellness is easier and more consistent. It's like something will go sideways for me and I just keep going. People have said to me, I'm the most mentally tough person they've met. I'm the most resilient person they've met, that I can handle the most difficulty. but that's because I'm not alone. I'm connected to, the energy that gives me that strength and that ability to bounce back, to come back, to deal with, to climb higher, and to be less self-centered, to be focused on the needs of the world around me rather than just my little story. At some point, when you're walking through your spiritual journey here, you're connected to the miracle energy, you realize that aiming at your personal best life is aiming too low. It won't take long before you realize, wait, I can make all the money I want. I can have the body I want. I can have as many friends as I want. At some point, I need to get over myself and notice there's a world around me that needs more. And I just realized that I can tap into the universal storehouse for power and wealth and wisdom, and I can have that flow through me to bless this world. Well, once you make that transition, when you move from the self-centered fuel to the purpose-driven fuel, then things start to really go crazy. Then things just go nuts. And so for me, it was get over my unwellness to move towards wellness, to move from wellness to wealth, and then to move from success to significance. And it's that evolutionary transition that I found just so encouraging, that I'm not as desperate, I'm not as needy, I'm not as scared, I'm not as whatever those challenges may have been, that now I just say, look at someone in need, let me go do something. And that to me turns me on. The freedom that comes from wellness and connection.
Ah, so good, right, everybody? So good. So this is it sounds like it's the anchor. It's
Yeah.
right? It's the anchor you need for your wellness,
Mm-hmm.
right? For it's so important for our mental wellness, for our emotional wellness.
Mm-hmm.
That
You've heard my kettle illustration, right,
Oh
Dela?
my, I love it. Can you actually talk about that? Because I can never say it like you do. So what's the point? So could you?
Well,
And
I
I also
didn't.
want to say sorry for some
Go ahead.
people who just joined us. I want to say hi,
Please.
Dr. Berang Ajam. So he said I can't watch, and I know I will miss a lot, but that's okay. You can come back and watch it. It's it's gonna be here. He's a great guy.
Yes.
Leslie, thank you so much for watching. Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Okay, all right.
And
Kettle.
I saw something about Ramadan. So for
Oh
those,
yeah.
yes, I learned to say Ramadan Mubarak, and congratulations for making it to the other side of the spiritual disciplines. That was, for my Muslim friends, I want you to think of that as a great warm up for the 30-day miracle challenge. It's a great setup. So let me do what's called the kettle illustration. And this came to me over a period of time, but I want you to imagine, I'll just hold up my microphone because it's the only cabled thing I have around me. So this is just a microphone that I use here. So notice that the microphone has a cable, right? It has a cable. So anything that comes with a cable, you assume it's supposed to be what, Della? What should something with a kettle be?
It's plugged in.
Plugged in. So I want you to imagine a kettle, a pitcher that boils water, right? A kettle with a cable. And I want you to imagine it's shipped to the wrong part of the world. So it lands, UPS delivers it to a grass hut with a dirt floor, no running water and no electricity. The people open up the box and they find this thing with this cable, and they're wondering what this cable is for. Is it a hanger? Is it something you swing? What is it for? They can't figure it out because they've never seen electricity. But you and I, if you've traveled, if you've been around the world, you know that if people received this pitcher, right, this kettle, they would use it. They'd use it to dig. They would use it to hit, maybe. They would use it to carry water or whatever. They would use this kettle. In fact, I want you to hear this, please. That kettle in a place with no electricity would be well used, well loved. It would be appreciated. It would be busy. Okay, all of those things. But what it would never be is what it could be. What it would never be is its miraculous self. It would never do what it was intended to do. What it's intended to do is boil water. Well, you, my dear friend, are a plug-in. And if you have been living your life without your spiritual connection, we don't know what you're capable of. We don't know what you can do. And even those of us who have been playing in this playground of spiritual intelligence for quite some time, and the scientists, the quantum physicists, they would agree, we don't know. We don't know what this soul can do. We don't know what these bodies can do. We don't know how far self-healing can be taken. We don't know how far we can communicate without words, how far we can connect and communicate with people on the other side of the planet. We don't know what you can do, my friend. And that's for those who are plugged in. For those not plugged in, we have no idea what you're capable of. You may be busy, you may be loved, you may be active, you may be working hard, but without plugging in, we'll never know what you're capable of. And that's what it means to be spiritually dialed in. When you reconnect to source energy, source love, God, Allah, that source love of the universe, that's when we get to see the real you, the one you're meant to be. And once we plug that in with then purpose, so you have a flow through to a purpose, wow, that's when you become a world changer. And that's what I'm looking forward to in 30 days.
I just got goosebumps. Isn't that empowering, everybody? It's so good. James, you have such a way of explaining things. I just love it. Yeah, people are loving it too. Everybody's, hey, what a powerful analogy. James, thank you for sharing. My beautiful soul, James. That's Medea.
Thank you.
Yes, so Grace says, I just missed the kettle analogy. Oh, you can watch this again. Yes, replay. I just love that. I remember the first time I watched you at Pure Spiritual Intelligence workshop that you did in Toronto. You one of the many golden nuggets that I took from that workshop was exactly the kettle analogy. And another thing you talked about a lot, and you still do all the time, is service. And so this is what you do, James. You are the quintessential man of service. Like I've never seen anyone like that. Well, no, I have. In our guru community, there are a lot of people like that. So I want to ask you your thought. Could you share on service?
Sure. So if you've ever heard of the Dead Sea, it's the perfect metaphor for the idea of service. The Dead Sea is a body of water in, I believe, the Middle East. And the Dead Sea is a very unique body of water because it is so thick with sediment and minerals that it is dead. What that means is that nothing lives in there. There's no fish. In fact, you can't sink. If you go out into the Dead Sea, you just float because it's so thick. And so people have now been harvesting this resource of minerals for cosmetic purposes and otherwise. But the question is, why is it dead? And some people say, well, it doesn't have any fresh water coming into it. That's not true. It does have fresh water inlets. What it doesn't have is an outlet. And so the Dead Sea is dead because it doesn't flow through. If you tap into the power of the universe, the love energy of the universe, if you start getting the power of love flying to you and through you, you're meant to be an ambassador of this love, to be a light bearer, to be a love ambassador, and to be a power plant. And if you are not blessing this planet, you become like a Dead Sea, that all of the resource of the universe is landing on you. And let's put it this way. If you are not honoring the time, the talent, and the treasure you've been given, what makes you think the universe should give you more? If you are not being a flow through to bless the planet, you see needs, you see pain, you see the headlines, you know what's going on. You probably know more than you want to know. What have you done with the time, the talent, and the treasure you've been given to make this world a better place? If the universe is founded on love, if the source of energy of the universe is love energy, then love wants to love on its creation. And if you are one that's blessing this world, well, the source love of the universe says, there's a good one. Put more there. Flow more miracles through there. Flow more money through there. Flow more genius through there. People say, why do you keep getting, where do all your good ideas come from? I keep making room for them by giving away everything I know. Keep on putting it out there. And as long as I am a voice of love energy, infinite intelligence will keep on blessing me with more insights. And so I just don't want to stop the flow because I don't want to stop the flow. And that's what service is about. How can I be a blessing? To live for self is living too small. The greatest thrill is to know that this world is a better place because you showed up. And that's what we help you tap into. But as long as you feel needy and greedy, shallow and short-sighted, if you feel that you don't have enough, then this vault will never be unlocked. Once you realize you're abundant, once you realize you're tapped into the power of the universe, all of a sudden well, why do I have all of this? To pass it on. Then service ignites the highest and best version of you. And the most successful people on the planet have all this one thing in common, a few things, but this one, they've all given their lives to something greater than themselves. They've all aimed at more than their own success or their own survival. They live bigger because they aim higher at changing the world. And that's what you're going to do as soon as you realize it's capable, it's possible.
All of us are capable of doing that. And yes, you are light bearer, love ambassador. Yes, that's what Grace says.
Oh, thank you, Grace.
So I see Medea says the Dead Sea has so many healing benefits. Yes. And it's true, like your analogy works, but if you're not willing to give what you have, then really what good is that, right? You just you're stagnant. Thank you so much for that, James. So much information in what you always bring to the table. I really appreciate that. So we've got about a few more minutes, and I want to give you the time to add anything you want to add. I'm all ears.
Sure. So thank you, Dela. If you're watching this, I want you to be encouraged. You may be discouraged by some failings in your past. You may be frustrated with yourself. You may be waiting for the world to get easier, to become luckier. And I want you to know that, first of all, you're perfect in your creation, in your personhood. The love energy of the universe didn't fail. And on top of that, your journey has been perfect, even your own mistakes. Everything leading up to this moment had to happen for you to be here in this moment. This is your divine appointment. This is your invitation to say, it's time for you now. Now you've been prepared. It's time for you to connect and start living that miraculous life. And so 100% of what's come before today is perfect. You're not a victim, and you're not super bad. We're all bad to some degree, and we can be forgiven. We can forgive ourselves. We can find peace, restoration, reconciliation, and start flying. So I want you to feel a bit better. Second, I want you to know the world doesn't have to get any better. The world can get worse. I don't want it to. You don't want it to. And if we do our thing, it won't get worse. But your life experience is not dependent on better external circumstances. You, my dear friend, between you and God, you and the source love of the universe, can handle whatever your externals are. So everything up until now was perfect. Whatever your current reality is, that's perfect. So we can move away from the fear and the frustration, and we can move into faith and say, okay, and now. The next thing I want to say is this. You have had things happen that have affected you. You have been distracted. You've been deluded, which means given false information. You've been drugged. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we consume, and the actual chemicals. You've been derailed by unfortunate circumstances. You've been wronged. You've been hurt. You've lost things and people. I want you to know that these things have happened, and they're not to be taken lightly. I do want you to know, however, that you can transcend these experiences. Take the value, take the lessons, take the experiences. And with those experiences, you can touch the world in a way that no one else can. So you're here on purpose. You're an ambassador. And the good news is you're about to connect to a community that are coming from all different parts of the world with all different challenges and all different stories. But what we realize is this: our dreams are not wrong. It's not wrong that we have our dreams. We want to refine our dreams. It's not wrong that we've had a tough time. That's part of the development. And now we're going to focus on our perfect dream life. And now we're going to reconnect to the source energy that can make it possible. And because of all that, we now know that we can be a blessing to this planet in ways that you can't currently imagine. Your vision is about to expand. It's going to clarify, and it's about to expand. And the world that you see is going to be better because you're here. So I want you to be encouraged right now and know that your perfect dream life is approved, prepared, paid for, present, is waiting for you. And if you'll stop stopping yourself and get in the flow now, you're going to experience the perfect dream life, and the world that you touch will be much better because you showed up. So I hope you're encouraged tonight. I hope you'll join us for the 30-day miracle challenge.
I can't reiterate what you just said. Do it. Do this for you. There's going to be so many of us doing this together. It's going to be super powerful. It's going to be motivating. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be a community that maybe for the first time, it's existing for the first time ever. Right? We're gonna make changes. You never know what the ripple effect of this will be, James.
I'm going to do a two-part call to action, maybe three if you don't mind. Number one, I'll encourage you to register for the webinar on Tuesday if you're not sure if you want to join the community. If you now know you want to join the 30-day miracle challenge, then go to the link that is 30 days begins now and register. It's $97 US, tax included, and get yourself started. Stand up for you and take that action. But here's my other request. Please share this video. Dela and I just had a great little conversation. For those of you who are here, you probably got value out of this. Well, this is an opportunity for you to be a servant, for you to help us get the message out there and help others hear this encouraging word. Are you going to take action when opportunity is there for you to bless this planet? This is one of those. We put in the work. All you have to do is press the share button, right? It's a fairly easy way for you to help others and to help us get the message out there. We put in the time, we've put in the work. You heard something that you believe is of value. If you think it's good that other people get this information and join this, share it publicly, and then share it personally. Invite your friends to join you on this challenge. If you'll do those two things, get yourself registered and share the love, then I think you'll know what it feels like to know that something new is happening and you're a part of it.
He's good. I know everybody has a few people in their lives that you feel for, and you're like, oh my God, if I could only share what I know. And sometimes those words don't come to me the way I want to explain things. I can't. And so that's why you're here, James, because you have the words. You are the master communicator. So you can make those changes possible. So I know that I have some people that I love so much, and I want them to benefit from this challenge. So I'm definitely going to share this with them. And please share this. James is a fantastic guy. He's one of those men who have dedicated their lives to serving others and bringing the positive impact into the world. And so we can help along sharing his message, and that's a good thing. That's how you can impact. That's how we can do our part. Thank you, James.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, sharing with me your knowledge, your golden nuggets, as always. And I wish you the best, and I can't wait to start this journey with you on Monday. And I hope that a lot of people who watch this do as well. And I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for all your teaching.
It's been a blast. It's been an honor. I'm grateful that you helped me get a message out there, and you're a sweet, sweet soul. Your kind words of encouragement, validation, I appreciate. And for those of you watching, thank you for joining. This has been a lot of fun for me. I do a lot of interviews. I do at least one a day, I think. And I can't remember having this much fun. So thank you, Dela. And for those of you watching, please share the message and please join us. And we're gonna see you on Monday, and we're gonna join together for the next 30 days, watching miracles happen, and then it'll just be our new norm.
Ooh, can't wait. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. As always, this is Dela, hoping to really spark your soul this time. Have a good night and take care.
Good night.